10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Your go
4,
for APU shutdown
3,
on time.
2, 1, liftoff.
Go and throttle up.
This is Escape Pod, part of the Outbreak Podcasting Network. Visit our website at outbreakpodcast.com. And now here's your hosts, Tony Brown and David Anthony.
Welcome out to this episode of Escape Pod. Haha, caught him drinking. He's over the... Damn it. What's up, Andy? How you doing, buddy?
Hey.
Hey. I'm David Anthony.
I'm usually the one caught drinking.
You are.
So
You not going to introduce yourself?
you know who I am. I'm fucking world
It's
famous.
Tony. It's Tony Brown.
Everybody knows who
Alex
he is.
York.
I'm Deandra. Melissa Barnett.
Andy, her husband.
I'm Josiah.
Yay.
His husband.
So everybody on that side made it safe. We thought they got killed by White Walkers last week because they weren't here, but everybody.
But they're back.
We made
Oh,
it.
how do you know we're not dead already?
Oh shit!
I mean,
Are your eyes blue?
Your eyes blue. That's it.
His eyes have always been blue.
Oh, we have so much to talk about tonight. And the first thing I get to is
Boobs.
nobody died.
Oh.
Nobody
Again.
died. Not even a
Oh, yeah. Like,
little
Even
character or
Baby
maybe the bowl of soup. That's about it. So nobody died.
My hope that people will survive the next episode died.
Yeah, that pretty much. So next week we're going to unveil the Deadpool because it's up and looking good. I'll show you guys afterwards. It looks pretty cool. And it's I have a feeling it's going to be riddled with little X's all through it.
We have 20 people that we think are.
Yeah, there's,
they're the 20 main characters we think that are the 20 main characters that are possibly going to be affecting the way the story goes.
Yeah, and basically I was on Game of Thrones official website and found the official poster release for this season. And I thought, well, I guess they know who might be important to the show. So that's what we used.
But they may be lying because Hot Pie's not in there.
Hot Pie. Hot Pocket's not in there.
he'll survive. He's going to be there for the end of it.
Hot Pocket is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hot Pie? Mud Pie? Whatever. So where do we start? Because basically this episode started with the trial of Sir Jaime.
Yeah, very abruptly started. Like, the episode starts and it's just like, oh, this is happening now.
It felt like a cold open, but it wasn't a cold open.
Yeah,
it took
exactly.
me a minute.
I mean, the temperature in the room was pretty cold.
Yes.
It wasn't a warm trial by any means.
Not like it's warm in here. Okay. AC will be on next week.
But the highlight of the trial, though, was just whenever Bran says the things you do for love. Like,
Yeah.
that was just like an instant
Big
slap in the
callback.
face.
Yeah.
Big callback.
I mean,
I was hoping that would happen, but I was like, surely they will. Oh, no, yeah, they did it.
But he's so far past his old life that, and he even said basically, if you hadn't done that, you wouldn't be here now.
Right.
You wouldn't have turned into the Jaime Lannister that you are today because you had to go through that to get here. So, and he probably, I don't know what all he can see and what he can't see, but somebody needs to sit him down and be like, let's take some notes.
But he's really good at, like, very subtly and creepily letting one person at a time know that he somehow knows.
That's like his
Everything.
one pleasure in
Right.
life now. Is the
Yeah.
little one-liners that really mess with your mind.
And he doesn't say, like, at least not to Jaime, he just, like, you know, he's just like, I'm something more. He doesn't go, I'm the third-eyed raven. you know,
Right.
so he doesn't.
I also love that they had that conversation like in the Godwood though, like they were sitting there, and then Jaime was like, "I need to go talk to this guy because he burned me in front of everyone."
Now that I'm not dead.
Now that I'm not dead. So.
Do they know that I did this, or just only?
No, nobody knows but him and Cersei, and of course, Bran.
Yeah, and
So
Bran only knows because he's the three-eyed raven now. Because
Right.
he didn't remember that
right.
that's what happened, like, back when it happened.
yeah, when he got pushed out, he
So that's-
he doesn't mean. His mom was saying didn't remember what happened. It's like that bullet. So yeah, so come on, anybody?
Daenerys and Sansa were in agreement for all of 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Trade glances.
Let's hold hands and everything. Yeah.
And then,
no, I don't think so.
Sansa continues to be a bad bitch.
That
She
was
does.
like the evil stepmom moment. Like, I love you so much and I'm going to protect you. Oh, what are you talking about?
We're not to that conversation yet. not yet.
Yeah.
Just the beginning part, and then later we go into their actual private conversation, which had a lot more tension.
Yeah. So with Jamie though, I mean, pretty much she's calling out Tyrion. You know, why should I believe you? Because, you know, you were so right about your sister.
Daenerys doesn't want to be there.
Right.
No. She wants to be busting skulls and burning shit down. And
Yep.
she's like, damn, why's this dick so good? Gotta stay up here in the north.
Must be his cave training.
Well, she just still seems way too preoccupied with this Iron Throne thing. Like, at this point, she knows, she's seen with her own eyes that, okay, that stuff isn't as important. Like, right now, we just need to make sure that everyone doesn't die. But she's still, like, bend the knee, and I want the throne. And it's like, chill. Like, let's get there when we get there, if we get there.
Yeah,
See,
so
it's
who's
like,
alive
come on.
after before we fight over who's got the throne, you know?
Right.
We may not
Also,
have to
like-
fight over any
like,
of this.
What was the point of even like looking at Jon and calling him Warden of the North? Like she knows that the Northerners hate her. Why would she just continue to rub it in their faces? Like that's
because she's the Mad King's daughter, man.
She is.
I mean, she's probably a little crazy too. Oh, obviously she's a little crazy too.
Yeah.
I think she looked for Jon because she wanted him to override Sansa.
Yeah, and it didn't happen.
He didn't get it.
In fact, she just kind of got up and walked out.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, he was like ghosting her until the end.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, well, Melissa said that he was.
I mean, really
double-dooring
though,
her.
it has to be like,
Yeah.
should have used a god.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ghost, that you saw Ghost for
He
a
was- I
split
feel like-
second.
Ghost is, they brought him back as, oh, everybody wants to see Ghost. It's not
Let's
going to
stick
cost
him
us
in
that
the
much to
background.
put him in the background. We don't have to put 5,000 hairs.
They said shooting the scenes are so hard with him because it's like so hard to get him to like still look big but still be trained.
Yeah.
So they just don't have him in there.
I got a reverse though. They said that Jamie was Tyrion's little brother, so I think that's.
When did they say that?
Um,
No.
Yeah,
No, because
'cause-
Jamie and Cersei both talk about how in like season 2, like when Tyrion has his little pecker and Cersei tries to pick it off.
Yeah, he's a little baby.
Yeah.
Because then they said that you have your little brother standing up for you during the trial there, or am I imagining shit?
I mean, I don't remember them saying that, and there's been specific scenes where they've called back to Tyrion being so much younger than them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely the younger one.
Yeah, he's the young one. So if that made it into the final cut, then
Somebody should
sloppy
be fired.
HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it again now.
Tequila.
Let's fan theory this, guys. Let's do this right now.
Exactly. Well,
What can they do with the remaining 4 episodes?
Get out the yarn.
Oh,
The
it's,
Charlie Day meme.
look what I can do.
Fight milk.
We'll get to the milk part later.
I think they subtly slipped Ghost into the background of one scene
Yeah.
Just
to
fan
remind
sub.
us that he was there, but not make a big deal out of it. Because I think in the next episode, Ghost is gonna have some mad shit going on. Like,
He's gonna destroy.
He's gonna have a few like really good moments.
Yeah.
Right before he dies.
Right before he dies. Exactly. Right before he
Do
goes.
we know
I'm
how
also
long the
still
episode
hoping that-
is?
Yes, it is 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Every time I talk about, like, because my mom is almost more obsessed with Game of Thrones than me or my wife.
Wow.
And like, she, like, has, like, every single Funko Pop in her office at her work. And, like, she loves dragons. So, like, obviously, Daenerys is her favorite character. But, like, every time I mention, like, she's always like, oh, you know, well, she always, like, has this, like, Disney ending for this show. I'm like, Mom, everyone's gonna die. Like, and she's like, you're just so depressing all the time. I'm like,
Didn't you hear Ramsay?
yeah.
Yeah.
Ramsay's little thing about if you thought this had a happy ending, that's Game of Thrones in
Like, you're not paying attention.
You're not
Yeah,
paying
he-
attention.
He warned us all a long time.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And then he cut Theon's dick off.
Ow.
Served him a sausage.
Yeah, man, Ramsay was a twat, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, he's a terrible person.
Good
Daddy,
actor.
would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausage? Yes. Sorry.
Oh my.
Wow.
You know,
Okay,
because
so what
you
even
really
happened-
love to
what
hate
even
him.
happened
done.
after this scene?
After that scene, let's see. I guess
Was
it
that
was.
a
It was
Freddie
a lot
got
of Jamie
fingers?
this
It was.
episode.
Yeah.
That was
Jamie
so
Jamie in the
rude.
hall. Jamie at the weird
Well, I
wood.
guess he had his talk with
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 Tyrion.
Brienne too.
Yeah.
You know, they're out there in the yard, and
Yeah, and
she's like, you know, why aren't you making fun of me like you always do? And
Yeah.
he's like
'Cause
humbled.
he loves her.
I
I
don't
think she
know. I
loves
think it's
him.
respect.
I think it's a respect thing for
Nah, I
Brienne
think he loves
because
her.
clearly he did the callback to her last season when she's telling him you need to come north. There's all this bullshit up here, and he's like loyalty this, loyalty that, and her fuck loyalty quote.
Yeah.
So she's the reason he had to tell her, y'all.
And I think he even said something like in his little trial in the beginning of the episode. He said something about because this is beyond loyalty.
Beyond loyalty.
And he
Yeah.
looks
About
back at her.
survival.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh.
I still think he loves her though. I saw the look in his
Little bit.
eye.
Could
Look in his
be.
eye whenever he would
I
look
thought
over
it
at
was
her.
interesting that he said he just wanted to serve, like, under her command.
Mhm.
Because he's, like, that is his thing, is commanding an army.
Yeah. I guess
Like, he's not a good fighter, so I feel like he would do them the most justice in being, like, a really awesome
Right.
military mind, and he's not going to do that.
I don't know if they would give him that.
That's what
Yeah.
I was about to say. I feel like
That's true.
I feel like he's self-aware of the fact that, like, even though he is this great commander, he knows that his soldiers would not trust him, and so he would rather serve under her command and fight alongside, and that way people wouldn't like backstab or whatever,
Yes.
or lose confidence because they don't
makes
trust their
sense.
commander or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Like Sansa said, men do stupid things for women.
Amen, brother. Preach on.
That's true.
Just saying. But you know, so yeah.
But
so
we love it.
We do.
We do it happily.
We love them so
love you,
much.
Grace.
So the I guess from there we'll go to the conversation he had with Tyrion, his little brother. Just kidding. So he was, they were bringing up the old time, and of course he was right there when he started talking about how he wanted to go out, 80 years old, and yeah, I mean his brother was just like, we've heard this 100
well, I
times
love
because he mimicked
what
him.
that reveals is that because we heard him say this several seasons ago.
Season
But
1.
what this reveals is that this is like something that he's obviously said more than
Over
once.
and over.
James
Oh, yeah.
heard many times.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is like, oh, that's
As soon as he
hilarious.
starts at Jamie's head, like,
Let me guess where this is going. Yep.
Well, I mean that, and just the conversation about when Tyrion says, "I wish Father was here," and then Jamie's like, "Whoa, too soon, bro." And then he's like, he comes off with like, "To watch us die together, protecting Winterfell of all places," and then Jamie's like, "Oh yeah,
And Jamie,
Yeah,
like,
because then
chokes
Jamie
and starts
laughs. He
laughing,
chokes
yeah.
on it. Yeah, he's like,
Yeah. Well, then they were talking about, how, like, he said, like, Cersei will, not be able to get to us now or something like that. And, Bronn's lurking around there somewhere.
so
On his way.
speaking of Bronn and his crossbow,
He's not going to go north though.
You don't think?
Why would he go put himself knowing that the army of the dead's up there? Like he's all about like survival. And
Well,
getting
that's
what he
true.
and he's already said, whenever dragons are there, count me out. Like, that's where
That's
my
true. That's
stuff
true.
stops. So I don't think it's going to go to Winterfell with the 3 dragons.
I'm not saying that won't come into play
Right.
after
Yeah.
the Battle of Winterfell, but there's no way he's going to go north with that still being a thing.
Well, I guess at some point he's going to be
And
trying,
Qyburn did
to
say
take him out.
if they survive their little like trip up north, use this on them. So it's,
Oh, yeah,
it's
there you
all
go.
kind of like a matter of like,
when they come back
yeah,
here.
if and when they come back.
If and when. But I read a thing today about like people who hint at something and then they die by that something.
Right.
Like Olenna poisoned Joffrey and then Olenna died from poison. And
Right.
there's like a bunch of other examples that I can't remember at this moment in time, but Tyrion killed Tywin with a crossbow.
So he's
so
probably
we
going
think,
to.
and Bronn has the crossbow, so there's the high chance that Tyrion dies via crossbow.
No.
Yeah, I don't like
Does that
it.
mean the mountain's gonna get his eyeballs poked out
Maybe.
By the Hound.
by the hound? Yeah.
I don't know. I think Arya's going to stab him in the face. That's what I think. But
The mountain.
the little
Yeah.
murder
Oh,
baby.
the
Do you-
mountain is on her list, isn't it?
yes.
Ooh,
Him
and
Cersei are the only
she's
ones
got that spear now though.
Do you think she's going to
Yes.
make it? The scene with the, I guess the teaser trailer for the series before it started back. She was
Right.
running through the crypt, scared and hiding behind walls.
Are we sure that
and-
was the crypt though? Because it just looked like hallways.
No, it's the crypt.
She's gonna
You
be there
should-
till the end, man. Until Sansa accidentally kills her. I'm telling you. That's a bittersweet ending.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I don't know. I still think Arya might be Jaime to Cersei. I would still love to see that Arya take Jaime's face.
And then,
Stab her.
yeah.
Yep.
Then Sansa accidentally gets fucking stabbed her.
Do we want Arya to take Jamie's face? Like he's kind of like become like
One of the fam.
one of the fam, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, he's
Yeah,
going
but
down.
this is like, I don't think this necessarily means that Arya would have to kill him to take his face. Like
Right.
he could just die in the next episode in Brienne's arms, by the way.
Yep.
And then,
said
you know, once he's dead, Arya could be like, "Oh, I'm going to use that face," and just go get it. Real quick.
Snatch.
So, like, I don't mean to skip ahead, but did she take Gendry's face? Because he looks like he's a little spent there after that special
Yeah,
scene
no.
last
No,
night.
no. He's,
I don't think.
I
no.
don't think he's dead.
Spoiler alert.
I
Ned
mean,
Stark
I don't
is
know.
rolling over.
We'll get to
that.
that. We'll get to that. That's a little later on. We ain't there yet. We ain't to that point
I
yet.
don't know.
Woo, that's something.
Never heard of it.
I mean, she collects faces. So
Really
you
into
know.
dragon glass in other people's faces. What can you do for me?
Exactly.
Also, her weapon is pretty cool, and
Yeah.
it's like the staff that she used to fight in the house
waif.
of what?
When she fought
Yeah.
the wave.
Yeah, like it's like the same kind of thing.
There's a dragon glass end and then her Valyrian steel end, right?
I don't
But
think so.
You never saw the
I
other
think she
end.
has.
It's
I think she
always-
has a dragon glass
Anytime
still
you
on
see
her,
it, it's dragon glass.
or
so.
the Valerian steel. I think it's still on her
Yeah, I think
side.
Yeah, it's
That-
still,
I
the
think.
dagger's still on her side.
So
Yeah.
it's a two.
I think it comes apart so she can do
thing.
dual wielding kind of thing, or she
Okay.
can do because she wants to be as far away from the walkers as
She can
can
Darth
be.
Maul that shit.
Yeah.
Little baby Darth.
Well, I heard somebody point out that it separates into two things, which is like Daredevil has a weapon like that.
Yeah.
And he's obviously he's a blind superhero, and like she was blind for a while.
Yeah, because in the
So she's
drawing
got
it
a
looks
very
like it's
Daredevil-y
separated.
type of weapon.
Yeah.
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 It will separate into two. For sure.
The episode pointed out how good she was at aiming, and
Oh,
both
yeah.
times it was 3. It was like 3 pieces of dragon glass, 3 arrows. So maybe, what if she just like shoots all of the dragons because she's like this? These can't exist because these are bad news for everybody. Maybe she kills all of them.
Oh, I
and
hope
Amy's
not.
pissed at her.
No.
I don't think
Dragons need to
kill
live.
Dragons.
All of them? I mean, I can
Well,
see her
I mean,
trying
I
to
guess
kill
that-
the
Let's
They'd
just
have-
go to the dark
well,
side.
If she was going to do all 3 dragons, though, they'd all 3 have to be dead because the dragon glass won't do anything on the other 2, or at
Yeah.
least you would only do minor damage, I'd assume.
Right.
But
Might
the 3 stuff is always with the dragons, like the 3
Maybe it
dragon
just means
heads,
that
and
she's
there were
gonna
3
die in the
arrows every
third
time in
episode.
the episode.
That's it. That's it.
Well, what was on the staff of the Night King's thing when he?
Just ice.
Magic ice.
Magic
Yeah.
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's right.
Magic.
Magic.
100% right, magic ice.
Magic.
What it is.
Hot ice. We heat up
Yes.
the ice cube.
Oh, man.
It's the best of both
We're
worlds.
going way too deep with our references.
Rookie of the year. Okay, never mind.
Too funny. Too funny. So, I guess what's Jamie? Then he had the talk with at the Godswood.
Yeah, this is Jamie goes on tour and talks
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
That's
Make some
what it is.
millions before he gets
Yeah.
whacked on the next episode.
I guess it was just him catching up because he wasn't in the first episode.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a miss.
What did I miss?
Hey
I
guys,
would
what have you
still
been up
like
to?
to see, because there really hasn't been any interactions or with Jamie and Jon Snow even throughout the entire season. Like they've kind of just always
But
never been on each other's radar.
there was an episode 1, I guess, when him and John he was kind of making fun of John for taking the Night's Watch kind of thing. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of this episode, John said to him, whenever Daenerys asked, "What does the Warden in the North think?" John was
Yeah.
like, "We can use everybody.
We can use
We
every
can-
man we can
Yeah,
get.
we can't afford to not have somebody."
I was actually
here, so-
watching the
Yeah.
behind the scenes, like the 20-minute behind the scenes thing in the car on the way home from work tonight,
Mhm.
and I actually finished it up as I was pulling in here.
while you were driving, it's dangerous.
I mean, I don't condone watching videos.
I was
just
just
messing,
listening.
man.
I wasn't
listening.
watching.
It was through my Bluetooth speaker in my car.
And there you go.
hands free.
Staying
Safety
free.
first.
But they were talking about like how like Kit was talking about. He's like basically like after John found out that he was Aegon Targaryen, he's basically just disappeared like mentally. He's just checked out.
Yeah.
And he said like John through that entire thing was just not really even paying attention. He was just kind of like whatever. And then when
He
they
just doesn't know what to do with his hands.
he
the
doesn't know
whole
what to do with his
time.
hands. It's like he's on a spaceship. And so whenever she looked over at him, it was like he kind of snapped out and was like, "Oh, we can use all the fighters we can." Like, and because she was looking to John for
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
"Hey, back me up here," and he
Yeah.
was like,
Let's stake him.
Yeah, he's
We
in
need
La
a-
La Land.
yeah.
He was thinking about his own
Everything-
problems.
"Yeah,
I got to tell you something later. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about how to handle that right now.
Yeah.
I told Andy I feel like I'm at work on a conference call and somebody just like called me out and I hadn't been paying attention.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel
Yeah.
like he feels.
Yeah.
There's unfortunately.
But not that
gonna be
ever
some-
happens, right?
Yeah, that never happens. I'm always 100% paying attention.
There's gonna be
I'm sorry, I
some
haven't had it on
domestic
mute.
violence in that relationship,
What'd you say?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the way that I know this is literally one of the last things that happened in the episode. So maybe I should just talk about it later. Just the way that Daenerys responds to Jon's news or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, should we wait for this or should I just go ahead and share my thought on it? What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's we'll wait.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm sure everybody's gonna
We'll
have
do it
thoughts
live.
on that one. We will.
We'll do it live.
Do it live. But I guess the next thing we'll talk about is the let's all meet at the fire pit
that's
there.
awesome.
I love that
That
scene.
was
Drinking
really
in
cool.
the
It warmed
fire,
my
he has a
heart.
winchy
Yeah,
song.
it was so good.
That was cool. I mean,
Very Lord of the Rings.
gradually everybody kind of
Filtered in.
yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
little
Yeah.
Tyrion and Pod scene where Tyrion's like,
Yeah, pouring the wine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like Brienne says, you can have half a glass, and like Tyrion's pouring
yeah,
it.
and he's like, I got you, bro.
He's that cool uncle.
That was
It was a
hilarious.
complete accident. Like he was like stumbling over himself.
Hey, and
He was that drunk already.
Davos is just so cool all the time. He's like that cool old man that always knows what's going on. Like he just doesn't get mad about anything most of the time. He's just chill and gives the best advice. Like everybody needs a Davos. I need a Davos in my
Yeah.
life
It would be cool.
We all do.
to help me navigate those seas.
Listen,
You know?
do you want to end up with only 4 fingers?
Yeah.
This is what happens.
This is me flipping everyone off right now. King of them all.
Stannis is a good man.
He was very just with me.
Why he calls me Stubby, I'll never know. So I mean, everybody kind of piled in, and Tormund and his
Oh my god, I almost forgot about
his stories.
I loved how he said hello to John.
No, the best part
Yeah.
of Tormund
Yeah,
was
when he
him
about
just
tackled
dragging
him.
his chair across the hearth of the floor. Like,
Yeah.
can't even pick it up, and he's just like,
Look
that
at me.
that reminded
look at
me of I don't even know if it's from a movie or a TV show, but I know it's like a GIF, whatever.
Of Jason?
Of Jason Momoa, like flipping out his
Yeah.
lawn chair and sitting down in it. Like, that's
Yeah.
totally what that scene was.
oh,
to me.
I'm sure they
100%.
just
he was
stole it.
flossing.
Totally.
Is
Yeah.
what he was doing.
Yeah.
like Tony was saying though, when John and his I guess
The other two
Night's
guys
Watch
from
guys,
Night's Watch.
yeah, exactly, kind of showed up, and you're like running over to him. Oh, hey, what's going on? And Tormund, bam,
Yeah.
cock block.
Yeah.
So that was
Also,
pretty
how
funny.
great was that scene with Ed and John and Sam, like up on the wall?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Samuel
lover,
Tarly.
lover of ladies.
Lover of ladies.
Slayer.
Killer of what was the
Slayer
It's
of
like
White
a
Walkers
throwback
and-
to season 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Lover of ladies.
Maybe that's why
That's how you know
Ghost
we're
was
at
just
we're at the end of the
there for no
world.
reason.
Whenever this
The
is
whole
our last
wall
episode.
reading.
Yeah, that was great. That was Dollar's Heads have always been a good one anyway.
So what about Tormund's story? I feel like I need to go to you for anything Tormund because you know you dress
Why
up
would you-
because you
Well,
dress up like you've been
I
Halloween.
love the fact that he basically just decides without being prompted whatsoever, I'm going to tell this story about drinking a giant's
Titty milk.
breast milk. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he
That's
was
a great
prompted.
story.
He was prompted by Brienne being there. Whenever he's looking at
Is
Jamie,
the big woman still
yeah.
here?
Whenever he's looking at Jamie, he's like, you know why they call me the Giant Slayer? And he like Giant Spain. He like cuts his eyes over to her for just a second, just to make sure.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure she's paying 100%.
He was definitely trying to impress her,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm all about the big lady booty.
Like how he's like, I went in to fuck the giant's wife, and she was like, oh.
Suckle me
Suckled
for
on
a
her
month.
teat.
What did he say for like
A
how
month?
long? A
3
month?
3
2
months.
years?
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
It almost
And he was
sounded like
10.
something the writers just threw in as a complete joke, and
Yeah.
everybody was like, "No, we're
We're
using
shooting
this
that.
story."
That's
Yeah.
going to be in
Yeah.
the episode.
And then he's drinking the goat's milk, and he's
Yeah.
just. And they're like,
they
said,
talk about
there
the
was like a
story
couple
before
takes they had to
that.
do
I think
because
it
they
tells
wanted
everybody
they wanted to messy with it. He's like,
They're going to the wall, back to the wall. In the books anyway.
Oh, okay.
it was great.
Y'all know what he was drinking in that scene, right?
It was fermented mare's milk.
Yeah, it was goat milk.
Yeah.
Hey,
Goat milk.
Hey. But I also, just because yes, I do feel a special connection to Tormund. I love the fact that in some ways he seems like crazy. He's a wildling, whatever, and he
Right.
is volunteering a story about feeding at the breast of a giant. But
Vigorously.
but at the same time, like later in not long after that, he's like, what? talking to Brienne like, "What? You're not a knight?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Well, why?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Tradition." He's like, "Fuck tradition."
Breaking
and I'm
all
like,
boundaries.
yes, like he's like simultaneously like.
He's a
He's
feminist.
a feminist.
Well, it's right,
A
like,
wildling feminist.
he's like the dumbest and the smartest person in the room.
Right.
At
Because
the same time.
he doesn't have any of the whole
Yeah,
it's tradition, and he's like,
traditional
Right.
things.
He's like, "Who cares? You should obviously be a knight."
And he was the first one to stand up like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was the only one
baby.
happier. The only one happier than she
did
was.
anybody else kind of tear up when she got that?
yes.
I mean, I'm a
Whenever
grown
she
man, and I was like,
no, definitely didn't happen when we just watched it before we came here.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like I said, I was not driving and watching the behind the scenes thing on the way over here. But they talked about whenever he said, "If I was the king, I would knight you 10 times over." Like
Yeah.
the producers were laughing. They were saying he clearly wasn't talking about actually knighting her. He was talking about, but when he said that, that kind of prompted Jamie to be like, "Well, I can knight her." Like,
yeah.
Why haven't I?
yeah, why haven't I? And he's like, because they said like it's not it's really not even an official rule, but women can't be knights. It's just kind of like an unspoken like we knight men.
It just hasn't happened.
Yeah, it just never
This
happened before.
is a He-Man woman haters club.
Exactly.
Sir,
Sir Brienne. God damn, that was funny.
Yeah, when she stands up and gets all
Froggy.
teary-eyed, everybody's like,
yeah.
And she genuinely
Yeah, she
smiles.
smiles.
You've never
Oh, yeah.
seen her
And it's like
smile
super
that.
awkward, like
Yeah.
someone walking on heels that doesn't normally walk on high
Because
heels.
because Bran doesn't smile, so it looks weird when she does.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Well, and
Like,
she doesn't. She never expected, would never want it, and then when she looks over at Podrick, and Podrick's kind of like, just
Yeah.
gives a little
Yeah.
nod of the head, like,
Like,
you should do this.
You know you want this.
Oh,
and you
and
deserve
Well,
that's-
that's all she ever
it's-
talks about with
it's-
Pod is how, and then she's like,
I'm not
like,
tonight.
I'm too good for this, and he's like, what the hell are you talking about? This is what you
You're
ever
probably gonna
wanted,
die
like,
tomorrow,
Yeah.
so you
Why was don't even
Might
act
as
like
well.
you're about
this
to
one
die?
thing,
You might
you
as well
know?
die getting what you wanted. you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
like-
Hey, and he was badass out on the sword field, fighting people. Like I was like,
and then he messed up, and
Yeah,
then
he
she looked
still
at
has
me.
a lot to learn.
the
Slacker.
guy at break. Good lord.
Also, there were like subtle things in the episode that I didn't even realize because I was too stressed out throughout the episode because I was like shaking for the episode because I don't know, I'm the kind of guy that when I get my nerves worked up, like
Yeah.
that's called anxiety.
I know. I should probably go to the doctor about that. But like they talked about like when they were working with all the dragonglass things, like I didn't even notice that they like laced everything in dragonglass. They like
oh yeah,
The spires on the top of the castle.
on top of the castle,
little
like all the
wooden things
wood
in the ground?
spikes have like
yeah.
like everything
Yeah.
is just covered in dragonglass. So if anything lands on it, boom, they're dead. And I was just like, how?
It's like glitter at a strip club. It's everywhere. Sorry.
how does that work? Do they just if they touch
Tony,
it,
what's he
they
talking
die?
about?
I don't know, but
Glitter
those
in the
things are
memo.
like for like more if they like try charging into it.
Yeah, you know,
If they
I know
tried
what
to
those
rush
are.
everything, it
But I'm
would
just
kill
like,
them.
all right, well,
But
if
you know,
if
they're
they
probably
just get
thinking
covered,
about
Well-
if the dragon comes flying in and you know
Yeah.
whatever. But they're just doing everything. They're just basically lacing everything in garlic and wood spikes so the vampires. Don't come down, you know?
maybe
yeah.
they will come past the glass.
Yeah.
Just crinkle some on the ground, sprinkle
Some
it.
voodoo glass on the ground. Well, I think they
Go ahead.
point out that dragon glass is the equivalent of dragon fire. I think that's what
Yeah.
Because it was probably
made by dragons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
That sounds
It's got,
good.
it's got
Hey, it was
magic.
pretty durable too. Like whenever you hatchet it into that wood, I was like, all right, it's gonna break for sure. It's glass, no. You know
No,
what
it's
he's
really
doing.
strong stuff.
He can swing a hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Gimli would wield that any day.
Oh man.
Oh,
So
Gendry.
Mm-hmm.
good old Jimmy. So gosh, let's
Let's talk about their age difference real quick.
the age difference.
Whose age difference?
We're talking about Gendry. It was Arya, and he's like,
Oh.
He's not.
well,
I don't think it's
how
that
old is he in
different.
the books? I mean, he might just be like,
All of that is irrelevant, thankfully.
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah, 'cause she's like 6, she's like 8 in the books or 9 or something in the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's only like 14 or maybe 16. He's not super old.
Okay.
Yeah. So
He's
it's
not
like
like- he's not
maybe
like
8 years
30.
difference or something.
Okay,
you
that's
know.
not bad.
At most.
Yeah. So
Back
now,
then it didn't matter. You could be like 14 and the dude that you're marrying would be like 50. They didn't care.
Right.
As long as she got that flyer.
Yeah.
but yeah. So that took a turn.
I
That's-
just can't
that's-
believe it, man.
That's probably. I mean, I was sitting there the whole time thinking, "Oh, that would be cool." You know, them kind of get together.
It'd be the Ned Stark.
But
and-
you never really wanted to see it.
Well, I was just. She was just like, you know, woo, let's do this thing. I'm not the red woman.
Yeah,
you gonna
like,
pull that off?
The whole
Let's
time
go.
it's like, oh, are they really doing this? Are they really doing this the way that they're doing this right now? Is this how they're going to present
it
this?
was just really funny because whenever the episode opens up and it tells you what it's rated for, it says partial nudity. The entire night, Andy and I were just picking everything out we could. Like, this is going to be the scene. We would just yell partial nudity, no matter what it was.
Right.
It was like, yeah. And then that finally came up, and we were like, oh no, oh
Yeah,
that's what
Everyone was like, no.
We've done it a few times before throughout the episode as a joke, and
Right.
it gets to this scene, and we're like, brief nudity, and then we were like, oh no, we're right now.
Those are the titties you didn't want to see.
So you think body double?
No, she said she did it.
I don't think so.
She said it's her.
I don't think so.
I hadn't seen the interviews on that part.
It
So.
was taste. It wasn't like.
Yeah,
Right.
Crazy.
It wasn't.
She said that they told her you can do as much or as little as you want. It's
Yeah.
up to you. She said, "I'll go with the side boob, tasteful side boob."
There you go.
It's just weird because you've seen her on the show since she was so little.
I know.
Like, she was
I
like-
felt
Right,
weird
that's
about
that's
it.
why it's so awkward.
I was just
because-
like, I mean, I understand.
Sean Bean is crying somewhere.
Yeah, in his grave, turning over
Yeah.
with his iron sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it was over, she either took his face
No.
or realized
She took his seed.
Yeah,
Or she
there's a bastard
realized-
in there.
I'm not a fan of peen,
Yep.
and this was a mistake.
She likes Gene.
I don't think any of that.
But-
I think she probably was. She's probably that's done. Now I'm back on the fight.
I think she just.
Yeah.
I think Arya doesn't do
That's
a
what I
lot of
think.
human interaction. And I think it was Arya's ability to do a slight human thing that she hasn't.
Ever
She's
done.
she's missed out on so many human
yeah.
experiences
Right.
and emotions and feelings because she's just been a robot.
Yep.
A robot.
How
Hey,
great.
even robots need service.
But I would also say
Lube
that
job.
I don't think that it was a strictly like biological or pragmatic thing that
Oh,
she
she's
did
definitely-
Yeah, she liked
necessarily.
him.
Oh, she got them lust eyes for him.
Because that she picked him to do that.
Right.
If she was just like, I just need to get this out of my system, she could have
Yeah,
just
they got
picked
they had
anybody.
Anybody,
some,
right.
They had some history.
But she
together.
specifically went with someone she had history with and was attracted to.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
totally building up to it too. With
Oh,
like
yeah.
when she saw him and like the steam was like.
Oh,
right in
yeah,
front. I was
dude.
like,
Oh,
and
so
that was one
steam,
thing
I
we
was
were
like,
like
it's happening.
partial nudity, and then like 5 minutes later they were like, no, we weren't really talking about.
We were just kidding.
Was it like season 2? I think when
She was watching him.
Well,
At
and when he had,
Harrenhal?
and he had his shirt off
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
doing the work. Then it was a little more of
And
her
she was
like,
kind of looking at him like this.
yeah.
She was a
Yummy.
schoolgirl with a crush then. Now
Yeah.
she's a power top.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How funny is it though that she was like, I'm not the bloody red woman. You can take your own damn pants off.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, that's pretty good.
Or whenever she was grilling him in the beginning about how many girls he's been with.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, she was getting at him. She wasn't letting him get away with anything.
She just wanted to know what she was about to jump into. Though.
Yeah.
She was
Well,
like,
I think she was trying to find the right, like, what's the right number? Like, if it's too many, then I might catch something.
Right.
But if it's not enough, then he's not going to have any idea what he's doing.
Right.
So I think 3 was the right number.
Yeah.
Good. That's a
Also,
good
like
solid number.
how in the earlier of the episode where she threw the daggers to like test the waters and be like, "So you gonna get hard from this?"
3 again.
Got him.
three.
Yeah.
Even with 3 girls, there was 3
Three
dragons,
daggers.
less arrows. There was, and then there was 4 arrows. They were like knives, but
Right,
And then
right.
she shot 3 arrows.
This
Well, I
has to
mean-
mean something.
I mean, now he's a Baratheon.
3 minutes.
She's gonna have 3
and,
triplets.
Yeah.
and then she's a Stark. So, I mean, there definitely is.
Yeah.
There definitely is something that as far as if their houses joined.
Well,
you know.
I mean, that was kind of
That's what
dating
Robert
back
wanted to begin
Robert
with.
and Ned
Yeah.
being like, we should join our houses.
Yep.
That's
I have a
episode
son.
1.
You have
Yeah.
a daughter.
Yeah.
So because Sansa and he wasn't really a Baratheon, but Joffrey
Right.
didn't work out. So there's
Yeah.
Boy,
round
did it
2
not.
fight.
Yeah. What a dick.
It didn't work out. That's a good way of putting that.
No,
They,
it didn't.
they separated it on in irreconcilable differences.
100%.
Really? You think that's
They signed a prenup. It's okay. It was good.
So, random question: if both Jon and Daenerys die, does that make Gendry?
You mean when? Sorry. Go
Does
ahead.
that make Gendry the next heir to the throne? Technically,
He's a bastard, so no, he has no
no claim.
legitimate claim.
Gotcha.
Unless
you can
he's
do that,
really
sure. Unless-
Cersei and Robert's child, who Cersei said died, that had dark hair.
The black haired beauty?
Yeah.
When
He
did
could be
that-
the
Yeah,
second
that's-
legitimate
Yeah.
Legitimate, non-legitimate child.
heir. Yeah.
Crazy.
So what do you think? You think she just had him and then got rid of him, or shoved him off to somebody else?
Yeah, like
Or go
I
kill
don't
this guy,
really
but then they
want
didn't?
This man's baby or
Well,
something.
that or I've also I've heard different versions of the theory, but one of the theories is that they like Jaime gets the baby away from her and says that she still thinks that baby died, but they just got him away and put him somewhere else, and I don't know.
I feel like Game of Thrones just has like a cart in the back of the set. It's like illegitimate child. They just pull out baby after baby.
Who run the world? Bastards.
That's so funny. Oh goodness. So I guess after that scene,
we skipped the scene of Daenerys and Sansa in the conversation.
Well, yeah,
they
that's
had. We briefly touched on the one they had in the beginning,
right?
But
go for it.
I think
sister-in-law and sister.
Yes, Daenerys clearly tried to win her over, and it just didn't work.
Yeah,
because Sansa doesn't give a shit about your love story. Sansa's in it for the North. She's the true. I feel like Sansa is at this point the true Stark of the house.
Yeah,
and she's not. Dany can't have the North from Sansa.
And that's the thing too. Like, if Dany wasn't so just hell bent on this Iron Throne, there wouldn't be much discord. But they're legitimately looking at this like, we don't know if we're gonna survive this, and you're still just bent on this throne thing. Let's make it through the night, and then we'll worry about your damn Iron Throne later.
Didn't Sansa ask Dany though?
Yeah, Sansa
what happens
says,
after?
What happens
yeah,
after?
and she didn't
That's
answer. She just pulled her hands
I
away.
think she wants
Dany
what Robb
never
wanted.
answered.
Right.
I feel like she's really holding back her Mad King.
But she had said
a lot.
said earlier, I guess season 7, that if somebody wants to succeed from the 7 kingdoms, it's basically how they ask for it.
Yeah.
If they're just fighter for it kind of thing, no. But if she seemed like she was up for that kind of negotiation in 7.
Yeah, wasn't that with Yara?
Yes.
And Tyrion says something. She's like, she's not demanding, she's asking.
Right.
She's perfectly allowed to ask.
And everyone's saying how Dany just has to prove herself to Westeros,
right.
like she did with Jon, but Westeros has to prove themselves to Dany.
Yeah, true.
At the same time.
And you were talking why is she all hell bent on the throne? I mean, if she wasn't, she wouldn't even be where they're at now.
Yeah,
she would have stayed overseas.
Oh, right.
So definitely, it's not like I'm here now. Oh, get me some D, and I'm worried about that throne, little throne.
It's there when I need it.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I think she could.
She's thinking ahead still.
Of course, she is where she is because of that drive for the throne.
Right.
But right now, she needs to
be in the moment.
Triage her desires. Okay, I still want that, but right now we need to just not die.
Well, in Dany's eyes, she's untouchable because she's got a dragon, y'all.
Right.
In her eyes, the Night King can't get to her because she's gonna fly above
she
him.
may have accidentally given one of her dragons to Jon.
Yeah, that's true.
Not knowing, so she might only just have one now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, to the point where we can talk about Jon and Daenerys now. No, we got a little more to cover. Sorry.
I don't know what else we got to cover. We can talk about that. I mean, that was.
I was just talking about that scene at the end where he he finally reveals to Daenerys that he goes through the backstory because she's like, who's that? And it's Lyanna Stark, and then she's like, oh shit, my brother raped and killed his aunt, and then he makes the revelation, he loved her, and then instead a child, and then Ned Stark raised him as a bastard, blah blah blah, and then he reveals his name, and then she's like, what?
Cold fucking shoulders him.
Yeah.
Like it's a brisk.
And to me, and purely on a claim standpoint, she's already in love with this guy. If they got married and he claimed that, she would still be the queen. To me, that would just be would legitimize.
Yeah, it's like a double super claim.
Yeah,
if they stay together.
Cool.
Yeah.
There are 2 Targaryens left,
Yeah.
and we can rule the 7 kingdoms together.
Yeah.
To me, that would just be oh, sweet, I've got a brother in arms here.
Well, I think we're gonna have
Ned,
to. I think we're gonna have to get to that point because right now she's probably thinking, "Oh well, how long has he known this? And maybe he wants the throne. I'm gonna be in his way to get the throne. If he's actually got the better claim than she does, she needs to take him out.
Be able to talk for 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like Jon would have said,
but that'd have been
I
too
don't
easy.
care, though.
He doesn't.
I don't want to be the king of the North. I don't want to be the king of Westeros. I feel like he's never wanted any of that.
Yeah, and I was telling Andy, because he probably is so much like his dad. Because they said like Rhaegar was good at killing, he was good at all these things, but he didn't like doing those things. Like he would like power was never his like thing. Like he liked being with the people and whatever. Like I don't think that Jon will ever like claim his Aegon-ness. I think he'll if he survives the series, which he probably won't. But I think he will just remain Jon Snow. Like I don't think he'll claim his Targaryen heritage now.
I don't know. I'm thinking at some point, if they both survive, just me, that at some point when they're heading toward, Cersei's house, that it's a like, let's let everybody know what's going on, because he's still part Stark.
Yeah.
And and she's Targaryen, he's Targaryen, and then it's like, and then if Sansa follows him, yes.
I just think she's sick of being somebody's second.
Right.
Because originally she was supposed to be her brother's wife.
Right.
So she would have been the
all
queen
that.
then. Then she was supposed to be Khal Drogo's Khaleesi.
Yep.
And she was like, fuck this guy. He raped me. Basically, okay, I'm okay with it now because it's going to give me power. And now she's like, I got to be another motherfucker's queen, but I have the power. He doesn't. So I think she's just fed up with it. She's like, no, I'm done being the second to a man,
right?
Because I'm badass, and these men were not. I've out-survived all these men.
Except for she loved Khal Drogo. She never said fuck you to Khal Drogo. Whoa,
She
bro.
didn't know. She didn't know.
And
Fake news.
She did later.
Fake news.
Nope.
You don't think so?
Nope.
the worst trade deal.
You don't think she loved
That'd be
you?
pretty
Nope.
good.
She loved the power that he gave her.
No.
And that's when her
Hot
give me
takes.
power.
No.
Hot take. So all right,
Judges.
so what about all right? So what about Dany's vision? How much of that is still
About
going to in
when
play?
she walks.
the
I've
burning
almost
throne?
forgotten the vision, but doesn't
The
she
big part
walks-
is she walks through the throne room and it's like everything's all burnt down.
Right.
And
and then
icy.
she walks
And-
out and she finds the flower. Was the flower in the show?
No.
The flower was in the
She
book.
walks out of the throne room, and then that's when she goes into the tent, and Drogo's there with their son.
Mm-hmm.
But what was something that got pointed out to me about that scene specifically was like she was walking towards the throne, and like she almost touches it, and then she hears the baby crying, and she stops herself
Yeah.
and walks away from the throne to go out, and then the next scene is with the
Dies
Drogo
in
and
childbirth
the
with
baby.
John's baby.
Maybe. We're so depressed now.
Oh, this entire episode was just a setup to remind everyone how much they love these characters, so they can just kill
This
them.
episode should have been called 1,000 Last Goodbyes.
Yeah.
The whole episode was just us watching everyone see each other for the last time.
But we all know for sure Brienne's not making it next week. Not after being knighted. It was too happy for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, not after that. The biggest smile I've ever seen
Yeah.
Gwendolyn Christie give.
Yeah.
Maybe she was actually smiling underneath the Phasma helmet the whole time. We never knew it.
I choose to believe that.
Okay.
Until she fell to her burning death. He fell.
I've got a crazy thought, by the
Okay.
way. I'd
Yeah.
like to hear some other thoughts about this. I'm not saying that I definitely think this is going to happen, but I've got this sneaking suspicion that Daenerys might bail next week.
I don't
Like
think
she
she's gonna
might
bail.
just leave.
I think they've got a plan because he nodded at her and she was like, "Okay, like I know what I'm doing." Like I think she's going off with the dragons, and they're gonna she's gonna be on reserve with her dragons until they absolutely need her.
Well, I kind of actually like your point because now she knows that she has she can fall back to
Yeah, if what she really wants
Dragonstone?
is that damn
No.
throne, then she could fly straight to King's Landing now while they're all dealing with what's happening in Winterfell
Yeah.
and go take the throne from Cersei right now.
yeah
Of
Theon's
necessity, if
sister
That's her dearest ambition.
Yara,
Yara. I mean Yara's already like I'll be here if you need a place to go kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we never
So-
saw the Night King on Viserion. So
Right.
if somehow
Oh, but
she
in the
finds out
preview.
that the Night King's with Viserion to go to King's Landing, she could leave Winterfell and try to go.
I've heard another rumor when I was, of course, listening to 18 different podcasts today. But somebody was like going, the reason we didn't see the Night King is because he's not even going to be there. Like, he's not going to fall for the little trap they're trying to set.
Yeah.
That him and some of his group is already heading toward Cersei's house. I don't know if that's true or not, but
for sure.
that'd be wild.
Or that they talked about the place the Night King was created is actually like further south than that. There's like this little isolated island where some of the God's Eye, where some of the children of the forest are still at. Like they're saying that like that might be like where he's actually trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? But obviously we don't know. But I feel like that I still think the Night King will be there next week because like Bran said, like I'm the one he's after. Like his thing has always been getting rid of the three-eyed raven.
Yeah.
He wants to wipe human beings off the face of the planet. He wants to erase the history of man. He wants like an eternal winter. Like
But
Bran.
why? But why?
Because he doesn't like humans after what they,
Yeah.
what they
betrayed
did to
him.
him.
And the actor who plays the Night King has said like the Night King absolutely has a target. And to me, whenever Bran said that, like, that kind of confirmed that it has been Bran this whole time because whenever he stormed the tree cave thing where he killed the other three-eyed raven at, like, he was trying to get in there. He booby-trapped it around it so a new three-eyed raven couldn't happen, and he finally got access to it, and he killed that three-eyed raven and immediately sent his guys after Bran. So like,
Oh, damn it, he already hot tagged the next guy in.
yeah. So like he has been going after.
Hold the door.
He's been after Bran this whole time. So I think it's very possible that he's got a rope-a-dope that he's got underneath his sleeve here, but like
Stick and move.
I feel like he will absolutely be in that next episode.
Does
Whether
he?
it's like the final confrontation with him or not, I think.
Right. I agree with you. I think he will make an appearance, but it's not to say he won't be like swoop in and be like, oh, see you later.
And the fact that in the preview for next week we see like Jon in the garden where the Godswood is at, like staring something down. I feel like there's going to be some kind of deal going on in there.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
also a snippet of Viserion's rotted ghost face.
Does he somehow know about the crypt though through Bran? Because Daenerys said the dead are already here, and through the whole episode they're like, go in the crypt where it's safe, go in the crypt where it's safe, go in the crypt where it's safe. Was that foreshadowing?
Oh, it's not going to be safe
Some
there.
shit's gonna happen.
Well,
Well,
the-
everybody
the-
in the crypt's gonna raise up because
Where that little girl that looks
I
like
don't know about
Shireen is
that.
going to die trying to protect everyone down there.
but the crypt has
Oh,
has an
yeah,
exit
yeah.
outside of Winterfell.
right,
Sorry.
but does he
Oh,
know because he touched Bran and he knows everything Bran knows, and Bran knows the crypt is there full of all.
I thought that's why the
these
iron
people.
swords. I thought that's why they kept the iron swords on the graves, just like to keep their bodies down.
No, I don't think so.
Because I don't know why
Maybe.
Daenerys said the dead is already
Could be.
here.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
That's why I think she
I
said the dead is.
I'm not
already-
so convinced that
Could be.
he's going to raise the dead Starks.
Yeah, I don't.
To me,
I
that's
think they're
like-
too far gone.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I'm sure it could happen, but I feel like that would be.
Rickon hasn't been dead that long.
If they're not going to
That's-
spend money on elephants, I feel like they're not going to spend money on the resurrected Stark family.
Yeah,
It would be cool to see Ned
New
again.
elephants.
Spending money on elephants.
Yeah, he'd be headless though. Did they bring his
Nearly,
head back?
Nearly
headless.
headless.
Ned.
I mean, maybe that satisfies everybody's
How can you
need
be
for
completely
Lady
headless,
Greystone or
Ned?
whatever
Right.
her name is.
Got nearly headless
That's
Ned,
true,
completely
yeah.
Headless Ned.
Because everybody's wanting Lady Greystone to show up, and maybe that's the way she shows up.
Nah, they
Nah,
would
it's
have
too
done it
late
by
for
now.
her.
It's
You
too
mean
late.
Lady Stoneheart?
Stoneheart,
Stoneheart or whatever.
grayscale, whatever.
Yeah, I think they've already pissed that whole thing away.
Mud
Yep.
They're just not going to be able to do that.
Hot pocket. Come on,
Really,
man.
I don't think they're gonna do anything else super crazy. I think it's gonna be. Well, I think they've said it's 2 episodes of the Battle of Winterfell.
2 episodes of Battle
I think so.
Yeah. Or at least one, and then definitely a whole nother one with like aftermath.
Yeah, there's Cersei battle. That's got to happen too.
Yeah, they've
There's only 4 left.
to me like no Avengers jokes here, but like Cersei is the ultimate endgame. Like
Yeah.
like the Night King, I feel like will be dealt with in the next couple of episodes, and then it's like their eyes have to be set on Cersei.
Yeah.
At that
See, I don't know if I agree with that because the first thing you see or read about, if you watch or read the books, watch the show, the first thing that they show you
Is White Walkers.
is the White Walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And the
that
spiral.
can't be like, oh, that. And in the last season, they're not going to be like, oh, we've been afraid of this the whole time, but now we dealt with them when we've got 3 more episodes. Like, I don't see them just getting swatted aside and not having anything to do with how the whole thing ends.
So what if?
Who's to say it's not just a diversion, that he sends a bunch of whites to Winterfell and he's actually taking a larger portion and just marching right straight towards King's Landing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, well, you said it's because Bran is his ultimate target.
Yeah,
That's right.
Bran
Sorry.
is his like. He's got to get rid of Bran before he can ultimately achieve everything he hopes to.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no that like there's not any. They don't get any prize for getting down to King's Landing first, or even going down there. Like they're just like a slow march down to kill everything.
Yeah.
So there's no point for them to really go down there and kill anyone down there.
Because there's
now.
so much between Winterfell and King's Landing.
Right, and also he doesn't necessarily have to get rid of Bran before he goes to King's Landing.
Right.
I mean, this guy. How long has this guy been alive? If it took him 10 more years to get to Bran, it wouldn't make any difference to him. It would be like that.
Yeah.
So
What I don't understand is why nobody has just sat down with Bran and been like,
Take some
what's
cliff
the
notes.
one?
Hello.
Like
Tell me
Doctor
everything.
Strange, there's
Yeah.
one
Tyrion did.
possible
Yeah,
outcome where
he
we
did.
win this. Let's talk about it and make a game plan.
Bran is Doctor
Nobody's done
Strange.
that.
He's seen
Yeah.
14 million,
Yeah.
600
Yes.
and whatever.
But he's too creepy for anyone to want to talk to him. Long enough to figure out
Tyrion
something.
does though, and then they
Yeah.
show their conversation off
Yeah.
camera. So I feel
Yeah.
like something cool is going to happen with that.
Maybe.
Oh, I was sad that I didn't get to hear any of it. I was wanting to see what their like little interaction.
Well, they
would be
probably
like.
didn't have a budget for that conversation.
Well, I definitely think that Winterfell is going to be a bloodbath, and that it's going to be a lot of. It's not going to turn out the way we want. We want them to stop the Night King. It's not going to happen.
Like,
we think it's going to keep
the
going
one photo
on.
they've released of next week's episode of Grey Worm out in the battlefield, and there's like an unsullied white behind him. Oh, it's
Ooh.
unsettling.
Yeah, the shot that I saw was the all of Winterfell on fire,
Yeah.
and that's from the actual trailer. But such a quick little snip.
Yeah.
But all of Winterfell, from one end to the other, was ablaze.
Yeah, all the things that happened in this episode that were so satisfying and made you happy and feel warm inside, that shit's over.
Yep.
That is over.
Bring your ice cream so you can cry as you're eating it at the end.
But what sucks though is like, I wonder if they like coordinated with Marvel on this. Like, hey,
I doubt it.
this is gonna be a
Double
really,
Death Weekend.
this is gonna be a really heavy episode. You should kill all your favorite Marvel characters off that same week, because that's gonna happen.
Nuh-uh.
The Starks aren't gonna survive this week, this coming April.
No Starks
Either
shall
way.
survive.
No Starks either
Jamie's-
series.
Jamie's not making it because Bran was like, what makes you think there's an afterward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and he's got to die in the arms of the woman.
This
that
is
loves
gonna.
him.
This
We're back to being sad
Bran.
faces
I
again.
don't want to
What if-
see
what if he
Jamie
dies in the
die.
arms
That
of
is so
Tormund?
sad.
I'll hold you here, you and your small cock. You wee little cock.
You're tiny pecker.
Tiny pecker.
I mean, but part of me. Sorry, I'm back to the whole like who the end game here is, but like we still have to deal with like the Golden Army and all that nonsense. Like that's still a thing
Right.
that
But
we're
we
not
have
even
no idea
addressing
how
at
any
this
of
point.
that factors in. So.
I don't think they're going to factor in at all because they're all about money. They're just going to be like, let these fuckers kill each other. We're just going to stay over here where it's safe. When it's all done and said, we'll make a deal with whoever's on the throne then, and then we'll be good.
I think we'll probably see them probably the last 2 episodes maybe. That'll maybe come into it maybe, but even then there's a lot of the whole Golden Company was actually created from
The
Targaryen bastards, right? So they may find some loyalty to Jon and Daenerys if
Yeah.
they haven't, because they keep saying they've never broken their vow, they've never
Right.
done this. Really? Well, maybe they might.
If Mr. Strickland if it can be proven to him what's happening, because they probably have no idea that the army of the dead is marching.
Right.
If they find that out, they could be like, on that alone, they could switch sides and be like, well, we've got to go help
Yeah.
them with that.
Yep.
Like, who cares about backing
shit
this
if there's
queen
nothing
if we're
left.
all going to die? Right.
Right.
So, I don't know.
And Cersei could just burn down the whole city like the Mad King wanted to. Just wildfire it all down.
I think she is going to be the Mad King.
Also,
Yeah.
But is it Jamie going to
See,
be
maybe
taking her out?
Jamie won't die next
We're
episode
in our
because he
what-
still
our
has
what
to
if-isms
kill
right now.
Cersei.
Maybe,
what if
maybe little.
Unless Arya does it with his
What if-
face.
Maybe her little baby brother does.
what if like the Starks like rigged Winterfell to burn to keep the whites out. Like they're trying to trap them in there.
Like the
and
Home
Like
Alone.
that's their plan.
The whole
Like-
next episode is basically
Home Alone?
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Winterfell alone.
Yeah.
With the
Marble.
black,
It's just
black
Rand
fire
wheeling
or
around.
whatever.
Yeah. Like they're,
So he's gonna stand on the road.
Because-
Are you thirsty for more?
because why would the whites and the White Walkers who hate fire like set something on fire? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if it's on fire as a defense mechanism
Yeah.
against the
Yeah,
whites and the White
could be.
Walkers?
Because if Viserion and the Night King are there, you would think that if it was on fire because of Viserion, the flames would be blue.
Right.
So I don't know. You might be onto something.
We really need to watch next week's episode now.
Somebody leak it. Go.
Let's go. Chop chop.
You know how everyone's talking about like what's everyone gonna do after
Mhm.
the Night King battle, and like that's the real thing here. What if the Night King wins? Because like no one's talked about that. What would the Night King do if he killed everyone and there was no memory of humanity? Then what?
Well, same thing
It's
like
just a
with
bunch
any
of
bad
dead
guy that
people
wins.
doing
It's just
nothing all the time.
he-
Like that's an
he-
interesting thing to think about.
He
No one
is.
like thinks about
Yeah.
that.
He is on the Deadpool board, by the way. So,
Maybe that's the real story here.
There you go.
He
We'll
just
show you
takes
guys
his
that.
mask off. He's like, "Yeah, so today."
He would rest while the sun set on a grateful universe.
With his little scarecrow costume in the corner.
He would sit out in the sun and he would slowly melt and
Yeah.
and he would find out that he was Darth Maul all along.
Exactly. Then he puts his little hat on and he goes, "Happy
Hey,
birthday!"
One of my favorite theories is that whenever he dies, he has to be replaced. So like someone has to control all the whites, and it's gonna be John. He'll have to choose between like loving, you know.
This is some Pirates of the Caribbean shit.
Wow,
Right?
this is some crazy stuff. Well, I guess we're ready to wrap it up. Anybody else got anything? Huh? Huh? We're just all ready for next
There are
week's
so many
episode.
feelings.
I know.
Slash
It
not
is.
ready for
It
next
is.
No, not ready at
So,
all.
Massey
Williams is 22, so I felt weird before I realized that. And I
but once
found out
she's
that-
old enough, then you're like, hell yeah.
I was like, okay,
Get
I
you some.
don't feel so weird anymore. And she was 18 in the show, so that wasn't as weird because
Yeah.
when she started taking her top off, I was like, that girl's like 12, man. I don't want
It's like her little sister.
The nudity
Goodness.
laws are different in Ireland, so they can do that.
You gonna be here next week? You guys able to come, or are you next week? You can't be here,
Yeah,
right?
we
We'll be out
will.
of town.
We will be in Florida.
We
Yeah,
will
I
be
don't blame you.
watching the third episode on our phones.
On your phones.
Yeah.
Exactly. You gonna come next week?
Possibly.
Okay. Well, you're more than welcome to. You know that.
All right.
Okay. You know what time we shoot, so you can definitely be here. Then come on.
PM.
Exactly.
Don't go to Florida. Don't go to Florida.
No. Go to Florida. It's great. Oh
The wife will
goodness.
touch it down there.
All right. You're definitely gonna be here next week, right? Yeah. Yeah. You? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, there's gonna be somebody here. I'll be here.
You've got to wear that shirt if you're gonna do next week.
Thanks, man.
That's
pretty
that's
cool.
that's the ultimate warrior. shirt.
It's going to be you and Deandra. I'm not coming.
Fine.
I'm tired
A
of
very
this shit.
intimate podcast.
Aw.
You just like light one
I
candle.
only if I get to do a very sensual podcast voice
No, the whole thing.
through the whole episode.
ASMR. the whole
Oh my
The whole
god.
Sponsored by.
It just makes me.
And everybody
Dragon.
listening going, stop that.
It just makes me.
You're going.
Please, God, stop that.
Car ran real good.
Very first or last.
Oh, shit. Thanks, guys, for tuning into this episode. We'll see you next week. See ya.
Bye.
ASMR.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Escape Pod. If you enjoyed it, please like the episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you would like to be a part of future podcasts, then email us at outbreakpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to visit our website, outbreakpodcast.com, for more episodes, show notes, photos, and other podcasts on the Outbreak Podcasting Network. That's outbreakpodcast.com.